What is good, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. Today we're back at it again. This time we got the NFL NFC West record predictions, where we predict their floor, ceiling, and official record on the 49ers, Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks. Now, just want to quickly say, if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you guys should show some support. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you like and subscribe, like I say in every video. But further and nothing less, let's get into it. Starting off, we got the San Francisco 49ers schedule here. And we have the 49ers in general. So a lot of things happen to the 49ers. So they lost a lot. They lost a lot of players on this team. First, with the defense, they lost so many players on that defense. They lost they lost like 5 important guys, and yeah, half of them were like veterans, but there was some also key pieces on that team too that they lost. Yeah, so the 49ers, they lost a lot of people on defense this year. Offensively was just injuries. Offensively, Christian McCaffrey got hurt. Brandon Ayuk got hurt. I think for a good bit of time, Ricky Pearsall got hurt. And yeah, that's pretty much it about the offense. Now, they also lost Deebo Samuel, which I don't think that was a big loss. I do think Deebo is solid, but I think, honestly, I would say Ayuk is still better than Deebo Samuel to this point. I would rather have Brandon Ayuk than Deebo Samuel right now. But I don't know. This 49ers team is really going to be interesting this year. They have the best tight end in the league in George Kittle. They got Brock Purdy, which, Brock Purdy's actually pretty good of a quarterback. Let's be for real. And we're really going to see how Brock Purdy is this year. This is a real season for Brock Purdy. This is a test to see if he's really that guy. Because obviously they already got his pay done and they got his deal done in that, but this is honestly the test because he's got less pieces now than he did before. So, this is really going to show if Brock Purdy really just is a good quarterback. And I really do think he is. But also, with guys coming back from injury, it's going to be hard to see. Obviously, Jawan Jennings also stepped up last year in a big way. But then also, you got to have guys like Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey recover. I think Ricky Pearsall he'll be ready to go for the season and that. But guys like Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk are still question marks on how they're going to look this year. I do think Christian McCaffrey is going to get back to his form, and also doing the same for Ayuk. So I don't think it's too much of a problem, but a loss of players on that defense. Obviously, they did get a whole bunch of D linemen in the draft, but other than that, there's a variety of concerns for the 49ers this year going into this season. So for that case, I have the 49ers floor at 6-11. If everything, and I mean everything, were to go wrong, I have their floor at 6-11. Now, the Niners are just a weird team because they can either do really bad or they could do really good with this team still going into this year. And I have high hopes for the 49ers. It's just their division got a whole lot better. Looking at the schedule, they got Seahawks twice, they got the Cardinals twice, they got the Rams twice, they got the Buccaneers, Falcons. The Bears have improved themselves, and they have the Texans, the Jaguars. So their schedule is not too tough, but they got a minimal schedule here, just because their division got a lot more better. Other than their division, I think they could really just beat anybody else. So not too many concerns there. Obviously, they got easy games like the Colts, Titans, the Saints, definitely, the Panthers, maybe the Browns, the Giants. So it's not like they don't have tough teams. They got tough teams. They also got easy teams. So this is a honestly fairly easy schedule. So for that, I have their floor at 6-11. If everything were to go wrong and injuries were just taking over them again, which who knows what's going to happen. For the 49ers ceiling, I have their ceiling all the way up to 12-5. Now, I have their ceiling all the way to 12-5 because if everything were to go right and everybody were to recover injuries like they should, then they should go 12-5. Maybe. They can go all the way up there. But my official record for the 49ers is going to be 9-8. Now, for that being said, I think the Niners this year, the moral of the story is their division got a lot tougher, and the team just has too many concerns in general. So I do have them going 9-8, potentially, depending on the rest of my predictions in the future. They probably will miss the playoffs, but also then again, I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs as well. But my official record for the 49ers is going to be 9-8, and moving on to the next team. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals, and taking a look at the Arizona Cardinals, they had another 8-9. They had an 8-9 record last year. They improved a lot of holes this year. They improved some holes on the defense, offensive line, and even special teams and stuff like that. So I think that's good. The Cardinals are a weird freaking team, let me tell you, because their offense. I don't know about the offense this year, because they do still have Kyler Murray, which still is a question mark on how his performance is going to be. But honestly, I have high expectations for the Arizona Cardinals this year. Correct me. I know a lot of people really are just low on the Arizona Cardinals. But trust me, I think this is the season where they probably make the playoffs. I feel like this is the year where they could make a playoff push. And I do believe in it. Because looking at this schedule, they have the Saints, they got the Panthers. Those are 2 easy games. The Niners, I feel like, are more beat down now, so they can honestly knock one off, if not sweep them. They have the Titans, Colts, they're going to be nothing. And looking at the tough teams, they got the Bengals. They do have the Rams twice. They also do have the Seahawks twice. I think they'll have a little fight over there with the Seahawks, The Bengals, they got the Falcons, they got the Texans, they got the Buccaneers. Look at them last few games. That's a rough stretch for the Arizona Cardinals. Before the bye week, they have easy games, but after that bye week, it's pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie with you, it is pretty brutal for the Arizona Cardinals, in a way. The Cowboys, they should be brought down a lot more. Likely not gonna have Micah Parsons. He might be going to Green Bay. And speaking of Green Bay, they're also on their schedule. So the Cardinals, they have a tougher schedule than the 49ers. But I also think this is the year where the Arizona Cardinals make some noise. Obviously, they got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. They also do have James Conner. Has been a very consistent running back throughout the years. I think he's going to have another consistent year this year. And it's all, honestly, I think this year it comes down to how Marvin Harrison plays and also Kyler Murray, and see how he does this year. Therefore, looking at this schedule, I also am going to give the Arizona Cardinals a floor of 6-11 if everything were to go wrong, just because their roster still isn't built all the way. But I also see them having, a decent season. You know what? I'll change. No, never mind. But yeah, I'll give them a floor of 6-11 at the least. Looking at the schedule, and that last like from week 13 to week 18 is such a tough stretch for the Cardinals. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, looking at that, that's how that goes. And for the ceiling of the Cardinals, I have their ceiling going all the way up to 11-6. Now, hear me out. That might be a lot. That might be crazy to a lot of people, but I do think this Cardinals team isn't as bad as people give them credit for. The credit for the Cardinals is just, they provoke the credits. I don't know how to say it. Like, the Cardinals are just such, like, they might be my number one weirdest team because they can go either way, honestly. Marvin Harrison Jr. could be just crazy wide receiver. And trust me, they do have Michael Wilson as well. I do think Michael Wilson is solid. And they also got Zay Jones and these other receivers that, honestly, I do like. They've had a good preseason. Like that Weaver guy, I think he's going to be cool too for number 4. I think he is. But, yeah. My bad, I'm still kind of sick, guys, too, by the way. So, might be just talking crazy here. But yeah, the Cardinals, I do have their ceiling all the way up to 11-6. Now, for their official record, I do have the Cardinals going 10-7 as their official record, and this is why. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to show out this year. He didn't really get to do that last year. I do think he's going to show out this year. And even when he didn't have that big of a year, Trey McBride took over, and Trey McBride is due for a big season as well. So Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride, if they both have big seasons, I feel like the Cardinals can make a playoff push. And I think that's what they're going to do here. I think the Cardinals make the playoffs this year at 10-7 and likely are like that 6th or 5th seed in the NFC. Likely the 6th. But yeah, I think the Cardinals, they do slip in the playoffs, make a playoff push at 10-7, likely get wild carded or divisional round depending on how that goes. But yeah, for the Cardinals, I have their record at 10-7. Next up, you got the Seattle Seahawks. Another team that is very iffy to me. Now, the Seahawks. They got Sam Darnold, which Sam Darnold, he had a great year with the Vikings last year. And Sam Darnold is such an odd quarterback because he used to be so bad for the Carolina Panthers, but also it is the Carolina Panthers. And you've seen for a good moment that Bryce was good, so I just don't know. I don't know. I really don't know when it comes to Sam Darnold, though. But the Seahawks, they also brought in Cooper Kupp, which I think is a cool pickup. But I also think it's like an pickup because Cooper Kupp, let's be honest, is an aging wide receiver. So he's fallen out of his prime. So he's going to get catches here and there, though. He's going to make some big plays. But I don't think it's going to be enough for that offense. Keep in mind, they do have Kenneth Walker still. And defensively, I think the Seahawks are going to be pretty solid. And looking at the schedule here, they got the tough teams they got is honestly the Buccaneers, the Commanders, the Rams twice, the 49ers twice, the Vikings maybe give them some troubles, the Texans, and the Falcons. Not too hard of a schedule to me. Obviously, they got to play their whole division, which, honestly, this whole division is really just a dogfight to me. So, yeah, this whole division is just a dogfight to me. But they also have a lot of easy games on here, too. And like I said, it's going to come down to Sam Darnold himself. Sam Darnold is going to be the question for the Seahawks. And I'm still not too sure about this Seahawks offense. I know a lot of people are like, oh, the Seahawks offense is really going to be good. Keep in mind, they do have Bardner at tight end, which is not too good. But I don't think Bardner's that bad either. But Cooper Kupp, like I said, is aging. Jackson Smith-Njigba and Kenneth Walker are going to have to do a lot of offensive training, or a lot of offense in general, just them two alone, to put the Seahawks team, to make a push for something. But also, the Seahawks defense is honestly solid. I like what they did with the defense on the Seahawks, and yeah. So for my floor of the Seahawks, I have their floor all the way to 5-12. Now, the Seahawks floor being that low is just because if everything were to go wrong, if that offense just could not get clicking, and Sam Darnold is just the bad quarterback he used to be or still is, that's the question. I don't know. I don't know if Sam Darnold's good now or he's bad still. I don't know. Because keep in mind, he was on the Minnesota Vikings, which were... They have a stacked offense. Addison, they have Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson. They had Aaron Jones. It was crazy offense. But with the Seahawks, it's less. I mean, it's a little bit less. So, I won't say less by a big margin, but it's still less. And for the Seahawks ceiling, I have their ceiling all the way to 10-7 if everything were to go right and Sam Darnold was just that good of a player. And it really, this whole thing is just all about Sam Darnold. I'm not sure, guys. I am not sure personally about Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold, he hasn't proved anything before, so now all of a sudden he's starting to. And you look at the Vikings roster, it's kind of like the Vikings, but it comes down to J.J. McCarthy. But the Vikings also have a bigger inbuilt team. So, yeah. But for my official record, I know a lot of people are going to get mad at this official record. But I have the Seahawks official record at 7-10, and that's because I don't trust Sam Darnold one bit quite yet. I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, he's good now," but a quarterback, you look at Aaron Rodgers, right? Look at one of the years Aaron Rodgers had with the Packers. He was really good, and then well, actually, no, I can't really say that. I just don't know about. Okay, just skip that whole statement. But what I'm trying to say is, Sam Darnold once was bad, and now is all of a sudden good when he got on a good team. That's what I'm trying to say. And the Seahawks are just a weird team in general. So 7-10, I feel like splits the bar for me. And yeah, you get mad at it or you love it. That's the only way you could really put that. The Seahawks being this low at. So yeah. But guys, that's the end of the Seahawks right there. Don't know why I was about to say end of the video, but guys, we still have one more team, and that is the Los Angeles Rams. Oh boy, the Rams, man. They made it all the way to the divisional round last year. They nearly knocked off the Eagles, but then a 4th and 10 killed them, and they lost in the snow by 6 points. And yeah, the Rams, oh man. The Rams, what a season they had last year. But what a season that's going to be coming up as they added Devontae Adams onto that offense. How about that? They also added this tight end in the draft, which I really liked. I forgot his name, but I really like this tight end. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The Rams defense has been really good with Jared Verse and others and co. So the Rams do have a little bit of a hard schedule, though. You take a look at their games, obviously, the whole freaking division. The Lions, the Buccaneers, the Texans, the Ravens, Eagles, the Falcons. You know, they got tough games like that. And looking at the Rams, honestly, they got the hardest in their division, but it's also still not like that hard of a schedule. Like, this is a decent schedule, I would say. For a good team, for just if this was like the Cardinals or like someone like that, or like maybe if this was like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, I'm kind of going crazy right now, but I don't know how to explain it. It's like, but yeah, looking at the schedule though. Besides that, looking at the schedule though, you know, I see a good bit of wins here because their defense has been really solid. I think their offensive line has gotten a lot more better. Stafford, you know, I know he's aging in that, but they still got Kyron Williams. They got Puka Nacua. They got, I think they still got Demarcus Robinson. I'm not too sure. They got Devontae Adams. They got that one tight end. They got Higbee still. Higbee's been solid. And yeah, the Rams, they have offensive firepower. They really do. And defensively, I think they're ready. I think the Rams, you know, the Rams have been this team that's just been prepared for playoffs and Super Bowl talk, and yeah, and more. But yeah, but for the Rams, I have their floor at 10 not 10. Oops, I have their floor at 9-8 if everything were to go wrong, because we have to keep in mind because Stafford is aging and this schedule is not the easiest. Keep in mind, this schedule is really not the easiest. So, I do have their schedule, or, their, floor at 9-8. And I'm sorry, guys, if I've been, like, talking all crazy tonight. It's just, it's freaking 6 in the morning and I have got no sleep recently. So, yeah, I do apologize for that. I'm really losing my words here. But, yeah, their floor, I have it at 9-8 due to those, due to them circumstances of Stafford getting older and this schedule being a little bit tough on them, because obviously, you know, the Saquon Barkley with the Eagles. Hopefully the Rams don't let 250 yards just to Saquon Barkley. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And for the Rams ceiling, I do have their ceiling at 13-4, looking at them and just seeing how crazy this offense is. This offense is just really freaking good. Their defense is really freaking good. I don't really see anything going wrong with the Rams. So there's that. And for my official record, guys, I have their official record at 12-5, winning the division. And, you know, that's the moral of the story to it. I have the record at 12-5, even with this, I mean, what you would say, a little bit of a tough schedule, but not too hard of a schedule at the same time. So, if this all shapes out, I had the Seahawks at 7-10, I have the Niners at 9-8, I have the Cardinals at 10-7, and I have the Rams at 12-5. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about these predictions. Feel free to comment. You know, let me know what y'all think about these predictions. Do you guys think this is a really valid list, or do you think this is just eh? But yeah, like I said, guys, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure you show some support, like and subscribe. And that is the end of this video, guys, and hopefully everyone has a good day. And yeah, Rams winning division once again. And yeah, that is the end of this video, guys. So make sure y'all like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And that'll be it. So peace out.